Story 1. AITAH for kicking out my friend after I caught her planning a secret home remodel. So, I inherited a house from my dad a few years ago. It's a 3-bedroom place in a nice neighborhood where rent usually goes for about $2,500 a month. Since I don't pay rent but have to cover upkeep and insurance, I figured having a roommate would be a good idea. One of my close friends who works from home seemed like a good fit. I did the math and decided $800 a month would cover everything comfortably. When I offered her the room, she asked if she could pay $500 a month for the first few months until she got settled in her new job. I agreed because $500 still covered the bills and I wasn't looking to profit off her. A few months in, she started acting really weird. She'd constantly send me out of the house, to the store to pick up her boyfriend to get coffee for us, but she never wanted to come with me. I thought it was odd but didn't think much of it at first. Then things got really suspicious. She was always video chatting when I wasn't around, and I caught glimpses that looked like she was talking to construction guys. One day I snooped and found texts between her and several renovation companies asking for quotes to remodel my house. She was saving money on rent to secretly plan a home remodel on my house, which I did not approve of. She even tried gifting me a week's stay in Vegas a few weeks ago, probably hoping I'd leave so she could start the remodel. I told her I don't like to leave for that long, which now I'm super glad I did. When I confronted her, she swore she wasn't actually going to go through with it, but I don't believe her. The texts and video chats were pretty convincing and I saw my address on every quote. I kicked her out because I couldn't trust her anymore. Also haven't spoke since she left. My house has a lot of sentimental value to me, and I love its antique charm. I'm so glad I trusted my gut and stayed. So, AITAH for kicking her out? First comment. It's likely the contractors don't know about her legal standing, or let's hope so, so if any get in contact, drop by etc. Make sure you send them a notice via certified mail of the situation and kindly request all documents, records of communication with extra emails, texts, internet, etc. Including all call records, when, how long, from what numbers and voicemails. They can avoid any potential lawsuit by being a willing aid to shoring up your court document presentation. Also ask them to make you aware immediately if she teaches out to them again, ever, no matter what reason she gives, and ask them to keep you informed if they become aware of her contacting any other contractors for any reason. People in the same business talk to each other, even competitors, and if they know they were almost caught by a scam artist, they will definitely put out feelers to other similar businesses. Story 2. AITAH for telling my husband that you don't lose weight magically after going to the gym? Throwaway account for obvious reasons. I don't think my husband would want our argument hashed out to strangers, but honestly IDK, who else to ask? My husband M33 and I F24 have been married 2 years, and we have a 16-week-old daughter. Prior to my pregnancy, I was active but not as active as my husband. He is big into fitness and stuff, and I really am not. I just worked out because my doctor told me to LOL. I only ran maybe twice a week and had a Pilates class every Sunday. I weighed 120 lbs before pregnancy. During pregnancy, I gained 40, lost 20 right off the bat after having my daughter, which my doctor said it normal through my baby herself, fluid, placenta, all that, and I have been working on losing the last 20. While my body looks different, I don't really care, as I am just glad my baby is so healthy and perfect. However, my husband started mentioning my weight at 2 weeks postpartum, literally. He would say it and frame it in a way that was a compliment, but it wasn't. Oh, you look so good, you look like a mommy now, or I wouldn't guess it was a whole 20 lbs, maybe just 10 or so. I just rolled my eyes and told him to stop. Honestly, I didn't care. Those comments happened maybe twice a week, so it was easy to forget. My drive told me to wait 12 weeks before returning to strenuous exercise, so I did. But the moment I hit 12 weeks, my husband was asking me to come to the gym with him, literally all the time. He was badgering me almost. I did it to make him happy, and he certainly was happy. I will admit it felt good to have some time to myself, and I didn't mind going at all. But now it's been another 4 weeks since then, and I haven't lost any weight but like 2.5 lbs. My husband seems to think this is because I snack too much, and he told me that. I told him I have to, I am breastfeeding. So that started an argument. He told me that I should go back to Pilates to tighten my tummy again. I told him I'd rather die than do that right now, TBH. He told me fine then, at least try harder. I told him I am trying my absolute F-king hardest and you don't just magically lose weight in the gym. He wholeheartedly disagrees with that and went on a tangent about how he loves me and my body for carrying our baby, but he wants me to still take care of myself for my health. Whatever. I mean, I get that sentiment. A lot of my postpartum appointments centered around my health as well, but it more things like recovering, sleeping and eating enough, not working out. So AITAH here? First comment. The funny part is that nobody thinks about the 10 to 15 years down the line moment. Nobody as in these guys. By the time he's a rusty guy with tarnished complexion, yellowing teeth, thinning hairline, and overall lackluster, grumpy demeanor because of loss of testosterone that comes with aging, his wife will still be in her prime, i.e., around her mid-30s. Basically the age when most women get married nowadays. Do these men really believe women find them exciting and attractive when they are older and unattractive? Because unless these men look like Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio, which let's be honest 99% don't, I cannot comprehend what goes in the mind of these men when they marry significantly young and younger women. Story 3. My partner wants to be a house husband, asked that I share money in return for him doing house chores. AITAH for saying no? Advice needed. We both struggle to adult a lot, and we both have ADHD. My partner is unemployed and gets enough money from family and disability cover bills. A little spending money contribute to savings if frugal. He doesn't work mostly because of depression. This was previously an issue for us, however he has since agreed to split money and now I am fine with the situation. He doesn't really like activities that I spend money on anyway, so I do them with friends. He's a somebody gamer. I work full-time, which I also hate as I too struggle with the same mental health issues, however I am able to keep going. I have plans in place to start dog walking business also, so it should get better for me. His ADHD affects him in many ways, but tidying isn't so much one of them. He has many days without any tidying but good also. Mine too, except tidying is. I'm generally very tired after work and end up not making dinner and being a slob in the house. I am of course trying fix this, but just FYI my track record has been bad. I have since received a pay rise and money is looking better for both of us. My partner is also helping family out with charity work, which he's hoping will turn into paid work in future. At the moment, he does the housework for the most part when he remembers or wakes up early enough to take his ADHD meds. Except for dinner, he at the moment does half the time. The other half I make something like beans on toast. He has proposed that he do all the house chores and I don't need to do any at all, however in return we go back to sharing money. He brings in around PS 900, PS 10000000. I bring in around PS 1600, which may not sound like a big difference, but to me it is. I save more etc. I understand that this may work for some, but because I despise working and struggle a lot, and am internally very jealous he's at home all the time, I feel like giving up that money for him to just tidy. He draws it out so it takes all day, but have a washer, dryer, dishwasher, don't iron, so it doesn't need to take long at all. Dinner is the biggest pain. I said I'd just do better with house stuff, and if I don't, it's my mess to deal with, and like normal couples, he can be annoyed at me. I don't want to just pay him to do my asset. I need to learn to adult. It turned out to be quite a tense chat by the end, and we're both very certain with what we want and feel annoyed that the other feels the way they do. He is trying to say his share would be totally fair and is comparing it to how it was back in the day. But we don't have kids and our things are automated. Thoughts? First comment. As someone who has had a nervous breakdown and was unable to adult for periods of time over the course of a decade, there comes a point when the excuses need to stop and action needs to be taken. This is not a good situation for either of you. I had a choice. Sit and wallow in it, or get help and start living again. Making excuses only leads to wallowing. He does have a full-time job. Seeking out help to get his mental health issues under control so he can be a contributing member of the household, if not society. He doesn't have to push through anything, but he does need to address it and get the appropriate help and support to move forward. Avoiding the main issue will not resolve things, nor will they resolve on their own. This is also not an easy fix. It is going to take work on his part. He has to be willing to put in the work. He knows he has a problem. What steps is he actively taking to correct this problem? He needs to actually do something about his mental health and take accountability, not try and come up with ways to avoid the elephant in the room and make his illness someone else's responsibility like he is trying to do here. It is one thing to be supportive of someone who is actively trying to improve things for himself, you, and your relationship. It is a completely different thing to actively avoid getting the help that is needed to line one's best possible life. I understand you love him. I understand he needs support. But he has to be an active participant in his mental health, not a spectator that looks for a way out rather than deal. You are doing him, yourself, and your relationship no favors by continuing to stick one's head in the sand. Second comment. Yeah. The answer to your question is in your post. You said it yourself, you both are going through the same thing, yet you are pushing yourself to be better and do better to learn to adult while he is using excuses to do what he wants and use you and your love for him to not have to do or be better at adulting. That is why you're questioning yourself and made this post, because it's not making sense as to why you can do it but he's not even trying to. You're trying to excuse him because you know he does have issues and you do love him, so you want him to be willing to do better for you as you do for him. Problem is, until he wants to, you can't make him, and at some point it will be the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back and you will be kicking yourself wondering why you put up with so long when you've seen it. You need to love yourself more than you love him and do what's best for you. There's a good possibility that once you get over the heartbreak of not being with him, that your lack of wanting to clean up after yourself and do chores may get better because you're not wondering why you have to do so much while he's doing bare minimum. Good luck. I wish you the strength you need to make the hard decisions that need to be made.